This week in our series of reports on UFOs, we learned a number of things.
To be honest, this is so much bigger than my concern is.
Systemic racism. It's a term I know you've been hearing a ton about over the past couple of months, but not everyone knows what it means.
That our government has lied about UFO information, that it's withheld UFO files.
This is systematic oppression.
That not everybody who sees a UFO is crazy.
Have you ever worried you were crazy? I did. And for a while, I was.
It was crystal clear proof. God is not only listening, but God is actively guiding us.
I'm watching this movie and it's like it's mirroring my life right now.
I'm not on drugs. I'm working today.
I was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. The doctors there firmly believed that I needed to stay for a long time.
A new study is shedding light on some of the long-term effects of COVID-19, including an increased risk of mental illness and brain disease.
But I was also being gaslit.
It prohibits the respectful workplace policy also prohibits any form of retaliation, threat, or reprisal for raising concerns under the policy or for participating in WDHP. So you will not be disciplined for participating in WDHP, and you should not be treated any differently.
But you just said I could be fired if I say the wrong words.
That's not. I did not use those words.
I
said a breach of confidentiality is covered under the respectful workplace policy and will be taken seriously and addressed by management.
Which the translation is, if I say the wrong thing, I could be fired. That's what it means.
Not if you say the wrong, that's not what that is.
And I was suspended because I raised my experience with anti-Black racism.
Is working hard to remove the social and economic barriers that racialized communities continue to face.
What it is saying is if you breach the confidentiality of the investigation, could be subject to discipline. Potentially. It's not a hard and fast rule. And I also was very upset to see you concerned about being terminated and you're sharing your concerns about your laptop not working and thinking that meant you were terminated. That's not how things would work. You wouldn't be terminated without notice. That's not a concern that I want you to have at this time.
I have that concern. So when I told Christy I want to go public, on Friday, I walked in and said, hey, I'm thinking that the public needs to know about this. She told me, do what you feel is best, Joe. That's what a manager told me. So you can see why I'm very confused now.
I didn't hear anything about going public until your email this morning.
I need you to understand the optics of this, because I think we're all just skipping over what this looks like. If anyone from the outside looks at this, I'm a very well-educated Black man. I have a college degree, a university degree, I'm a business owner. I've published 6 books. And for some reason, this process for the province of Ontario is too difficult for me to figure out. That's a problem.
This has been very troubling for me.
Who in the government is supporting Black people that are dealing with racism?
Many people, not all, don't feel that you have done enough to address the racism issue in this province.
I'll come down like a ton of bricks on them, because we have the most multicultural province jurisdiction anywhere, probably in North America.
I was really interested in always about making things better, whether it was, I'm going to make the world better, I'm going to fight injustice.
But what I can say is, here's an email. Can someone please look at this email and say, is this a bad thing or not? This is bad. Maybe there should be an action taken.
But then the investigation, interviews you, interviews the respondent, interviews witnesses, and makes a determination of whether it's substantiated.
What this is I'm watching it play out before me. This system is actually oppressing me, making it hard for me to get my story out. Like, it shouldn't be this much work. No one in the government is helping me deal with racism. These are statements I'm saying, and unfortunately, I'm just not getting an answer about them.
I may be wrong, but it certainly looks like I was just fired from a unionized government job because I spoke out about anti-black racism. It also looks like the union let it happen. Again. And it looks like when I tried to fight back, they threatened to have me investigated for stalking a child, using the police against a black queer writer as a hammer to silence him. But is that what really happened? And how can I know for sure? What if I had misinterpreted several years worth of emails and the videos I recorded and the numerous government memos stating that the problem was real and pervasive? What if all of the eyewitnesses were wrong? Now, it seemed like everyone knew it was happening.
Of course, there's systemic racism in Ontario. There's systemic racism across this country.
While simultaneously saying that it wasn't happening.
We don't have the systemic, deep roots they have had for years.
So which is it? And does truth matter in a world with fake news? Our memories are not as solid as we think they are.
We need to step back and ask ourselves whether those are real memories, or whether perhaps memory illusions have persuaded us of a past that never was.
The pictures in our head may not reflect reality. Memories and our sense of self can be altered by stressful events like racism and illness like long COVID. If our perceptions of who we are and what we have lived through can be fooled so easily, how do we know that our other beliefs are actually real? I used to believe my ex-husband loved me. Turns out he just didn't want to hurt my feelings. It was like a game of gay chicken that lasted 18 years. He was also convinced if he was honest about his emotions, his friends would hate him. Well, I lost all the friends in the divorce, so I guess you had nothing to worry about, Rob. I've also had long COVID since January of 2021. Now, I know some of you believe long COVID's not real. Some of you also believe birds aren't real. So, I don't know, read a book or something. But I also used to believe something truly incredible. I used to believe I was abducted by aliens. And if I could be wrong about that, could I be wrong about other things? Is the Earth really flat, despite thousands of years of scientific data and eyewitness testimony, including people who have seen it from space? But how do we know? When is a weather balloon just a weather balloon? And how would I ever be able to prove I was abducted by aliens, even if the only person I could prove it to was myself? If people tell us who they are and what they've been through, why don't we believe them? And if people we trust lie to us over and over and over again,
in many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat.
Why do we keep believing them? How can you know if your experience is real or a delusion? The answer is simple, but boring. Science. My name is Joseph Murphy. Join me on a 3-part journey as we uncover what the latest scientific discoveries reveal about memory and identity, and how external forces like gaslighting, chronic illness, systematic oppression can affect your sense of who you are and what you are. How do you know who you really are?